I was rummaging through some images of Shannel on Facebook, and I found an image where she had these lips, which were dark on the outside, bright red on the inner corners, and then white on the inside. And I'm like, I want to recreate that look. She has a whole bunch of appliques all over her face with chains hanging from them. This is Shannel 2.0. If you guys want to see a tutorial on how to get this, then definitely keep watching. Alright guys, so the first thing we are going to do is cover everything on the face, and I am using Ben Nye Tan Light. I'm going to leave the center of the forehead a little bit whiter. Now she normally has her contour right directly above the arch, up, and then it wraps around just very lightly on the top. So I'm going to set everything, and to do that I am using a combination of N4 and Makeup Forever's HD powder. And the brush that I'm using is a MAC 187. I'm going to powder a little bit more on my brows as well, using a lighter color. This is NC15. Alright, so after I've had my foundation on, the first thing I'm going to do is take a very, very, very nude color, ever so slightly darker or lighter than the color of my skin, and I'm going to map out her brow. Now the picture I'm actually looking at of hers, her head is very much like this. So I'm going to copy it just like this, and I know that the brow starts here. As you can see on this side, it starts fairly close to the eye and it comes up, and right about here is where the top is, and then it just slightly curves down from there. So I'm going to do the same thing over here and just map it out, making sure that I'm following the exact same angles as what I see on her picture. Once you have your basic shape on, I'm going to leave it for now, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually erase my mistakes. Now, using a combination between Black and Espresso by Ben Nye pressed eyeshadows, I'm going to take the same angled liner brush, and I'm going to run this over top just in short strokes to give the illusion that it's actually hair. Now because her eyebrows are blurred, I'm taking a little bit of NC15 on a brush, and I'm just going to dab this lightly over top the whole way of the brow. For the eyes, the first thing I'm going to do is take Indian Wood, and I'm going to apply this up until just above the crease, all the way from the lash line, up until the inner corner of the brow, all the way out until the very end over here, like you can see how this one is here. I am now taking Black Round from MAC, and I'm going to apply this from the inner corner of the eye, up in a rounded type shape, just slightly above my crease here. I'm going to come up at that exact same angle. It needs to be perfectly straight from the side. See how it's a straight line? I want it a little bit higher by the brow here and then blending out. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Alabaster by Mayron. This is a foundation, and I'm just going to apply it directly in the middle or right up here and blend it out. And this is just going to make a tacky base for me to put my highlight on, which in this case is Vanilla by Ben Nye. Blending into the vanilla, I am going to apply Or Naturel, going over the Indian Wood, not going onto the black. Onto the Indian Wood, I am going to, from right here, kind of center of the crease area here, just like it is over here, you can see. This is Desert Coral, and this is by Ben Nye. Using a flat paddle eyeshadow brush, take black. In this case, I am using Black by Ben Nye. Just press it onto the black ground, going up once again slightly into the Desert Coral that's there, or where we applied the Indian Wood. And following this line that is on the outside here, you can go ahead and slightly blend it up, especially on the outer corner here. So the more time you take, the easier it is to blend. The more layers you add as well, the easier it is to blend. So I'm going to take a little bit of red and apply it over top. Likewise over here, I'm going to take a little bit of Naturel by Ben Nye, and I'm going to keep applying back and forth between all these colors until it creates a nice blend like it does over here. And apply black right there as well. Now I'm going to take Vanilla. I'm going to apply it right here. I'm going to take Alabaster by Mayron, and we're going to make this a very straight line here, making sure that it's not blended as much, or that it's a smaller blend on top and that it comes down farther towards the bottom. Likewise on the inner corner here, we are going to pull it down quite a bit here, and then we're going to pull it up rapidly. It's going to go very, very thin, just like it is over here. Thin, thick, thin. Also, we are going to bring it up the nose here slightly using a thin angled liner from Ben Nye. I'm going to bring down the corner of my nose, just like this, taking a thicker angled liner, connecting to the black that's already there, and creating a fairly heavy line all the way to the inner corner here, and really make it thick towards the center. And using a pencil liner, blend, and I'm only blending right to the outer corner here, and then I'm going to pull down slightly all the way around. Once you've blended, go ahead and add another line closer to the lash line this time, and make it black, black, black. Next, I'm taking Feline by MAC, waterline on the bottom, and tightlining my upper waterline. Using the brush that we were highlighting with on top, I'm now going to take a little bit more white, and I'm going to start to build in layers all the way on my cheekbone here. I'm going to curl my lashes and apply mascara. Taking MAC's NC15, I'm going to apply this where I added the white here to set it. Also apply a little bit more of that to the center right here. And I'm going to make this really, really, really dark around the edge here, really, really dark around the edge here. Now she actually brings hers out to right about here for the brow, lightly dusts it down, and comes back up. And then she wraps it around up top here. I'm going to contour underneath my jaw with the same color. To do that, I'm starting right in front of the ear here. I'm cutting off a little bit of my jaw, and I'm not adding this to get rid of any weight that may be on the face. I'm adding it to create roundness, and that's it. We're going to take a tiny little bit of the light foundation, and that is going to be put right here. So for contouring, I'm just going to take the very edge of this 109. I'm going to start right up here above my ear with blunt again, and I'm going to come down following that line that I created. And I'm not going to completely bring it down to my mouth here. I'm going to take my big eyeshadow brush that I've been using all along, and right along the bottom here using blunt again until right close to the bottom of that contour, I am going to just apply a thin line. The last thing I'm doing is taking Rose Berry number 30 by Revlon. It's a color stay. And I'm going to apply this to the apples of my cheeks right here and all the way up on the edge of that contour. And I'm going to finish off by stippling a little bit more white directly underneath here. Now Shannel's nose is a little differently than mine is. It's more of a button, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more of the white and just stipple it onto the end of the nose here. And using a little bit of blunt, I'm just going to wrap it around ever so slightly right here. The last thing I need to do for this look, other than put on some hair, some black hair to be specific, is to do my lips, just like Shannel. For this specific look I'm doing, Shannel has dark all the way around the outside with a lighter red on the inner sides here with almost a white color placed right in the center. So I am going to recreate those much like Shannel lips are. Shannel lips, if I hold my lips like this, they're almost that exact same shape, but when my mouth is closed. So I'm going to follow that shape, and I'm going to create them slightly bigger. So they actually curve inwards like this here at the end. And then they go up. And curve back down around. Now Shannel's lips classically come down, not a ton, just ever so slightly, Once you have your lips on, blend all that out, and we're actually going to remove some of the color in a minute as well. Once you have your classically shaped Shannel lips, I'm actually going to remove some of the color. To the outer edge of this, I'm going to add Max Russian Red. This is actually lip glass, so it's going to be darker around the outside and around the edges than it is on the inside. Don't blend too much. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my alabaster again, apply this to the center. And blend. And I do want to fix the line that I have going right here. And that's everything. I hope this was helpful to the majority of you, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And the only thing I did not add to this tutorial were the contacts. I haven't actually touched any of my 18 pairs of contacts for about 4 months now, so I am sure they are all very moisture deprived and need to be cleaned and rehydrated. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you leave all your requests for tutorials in the comments below, and I will be sure to add them to my list. Until my next video, I hope you all have amazing days. Bye.